Hi, welcome back to the Scent Advocate. I've missed you all so much. If you're new to the channel, welcome. But for those of you who are regular viewers, I really have missed you. So I took a few days off. I had some stuff going on over the weekend, but I'm so excited to be back. Tonight's topic is fragrances that make the world seem new again. Very energizing, uplifting, perfect for this time of year. Usually I focus on notes or houses. This time I'm focusing on feelings and moods. In fact, I'm going to be doing a series on that. So tonight's mood is fragrances that make the world feel new and young again. But there will be other interesting mood-centric topics coming up in what may be a 5-part series. We'll see. I'd also love your feedback on that topic. Tonight's beverage of choice is coffee, of course. I absolutely love it, and I'm filming a little late, so I need the boost, and I've got a water chaser here with me. So let's jump right in. Tonight's first fragrance is a classic. It is Creed's original Vetiver. Oh yes, do you know it? Lovely stuff. I've had this one for a few years and I absolutely adore it. This is definitely masculine leaning. This is 100 ml. It's an EDP. It's a 2004 release. And it goes for about $470. So definitely not cheap, but you get quite a bit in here, and it's amazing performance in my opinion. This is bergamot, ginger, mandarin orange, vetiver, sandalwood, iris, musk, and ambergris. This is it's fresh, clean, soapy, universally handsome, energizing, zippy, youthful. The person who wears this just came from some kind of sports practice, has already had a shower, has eaten his Wheaties, and is ready to compete in whichever Olympic track and field event involves throwing a javelin. Oh yes. Absolutely. This is an active type of person. Again, I wear this. You don't have to be a masculine person, but it definitely leans masculine to me. But you know what I always say, you do you. Wear what you want, when you want, how you want. Knock yourself out. I absolutely love it. Rumor has it this was a favorite fragrance of John F. Kennedy, former president and American icon. I don't know if that's true, but I love the story. Original Vetiver by Creed. Moving on, we've got, oh, I love this one. This is Theodoros Kalotinis Lemon Tart. Beautiful stuff. This is an EDP. It is 50 ml. It is a 2023 release, and it goes for a whopping $60. Not bad by today's prices, I think. So this is lemon zest, lemon vanilla, whipped cream, butter, sugar, and tartine. This is lemony with a hint of carby coziness in the dry down. But I don't think this is a gourmand. It's got more of a firm backbone to it. So it's not a gourmand, and it's not your favorite wood furniture polish either. It sits, very nicely in between. To me, this is very, very wearable. Blooms on the skin, giving you, just a flash of energy and zip to start your day. It's not too acidic. It's a very wearable lemon, even for folks who don't necessarily love lemon forward fragrances. This definitely is lemon forward, but it's, again, just something that I think is pretty pleasing. If you don't love lemons, but you want to try one, I highly encourage you to check this out. It's beautiful for this time of year. Theodoros Kalotinis Lemon Tart. Moving on, we've got oh, I love this one, the Soft Hedgehog. How can you go wrong? I mean, a few of you have written to me because I've talked about this one before, by Am So Soft. And indeed, it is supposed to be, the fragrance is supposed to be reminiscent of the soft underbelly of a hedgehog, right? How cute is that? I mean, it's just irresistibly cute to even imagine. And I have heard they're little stinkers, but I don't know how true that is. I've never smelled a hedgehog. Maybe I never will. I just, I don't want to destroy the image I have in my head of a soft hedgehog. And if they're stinky, it's just going to like ruin the whole idea for me. And I'm not down for that right now. So in my mind, hedgehogs feel as wonderful as they smell, and they smell like this. And this is, by the way, a 35 ml EDP. It goes for $89, and it is a 2024 release. The notes in this are pepper, black currant, iris, amber, vanilla, vetiver, white musk, and sandalwood. It's got a lot going on. It's energizing, renewing, refreshing, wonderful, but it's not what I would typically put in that category, and yet that is the feeling I get. It can't decide between clean, powdery, soft, musky, or vanilla, but it doesn't have to. This is a renewing, energizing, uplifting, spirited fragrance, and it just comes together into one amazing, perfectly blended accord, and it's just an expression of a lust for life. This puts, a lift in my step. It makes me feel like I'm ready to, charge head on into my day, even when, my schedule doesn't necessarily make me think along those lines. It gives me, the extra boost I need to just go in feeling positively. I think this is perfectly unisex, which is really a theme with these fragrances in today's lineup. I don't think any of them, they are all straight down the line, perfectly unisex, and this is no exception. It's wonderful, happy, upbeat, Am So Soft Hedgehog. Moving on, we've got Licorice by Federico Cantelli. Here it is. I've talked about this one before in different contexts. This is an EDP. It is 50 ml. It goes for about $65, and it is a 2024 release. This is licorice, vanilla, sugared almonds, cherry, marmalade, star anise, sugar, caramel, and salt. Now, this is a very herb-forward licorice fragrance. Okay, so where's my mind right now? It is on any number of licorice-flavored Sicilian delicacies, not the least of which is a digestive that used to be very common at the dinner table at the end of a meal. So we call it finocchia, and it is the plant part of a fennel plant, or the leafy part, I should say, of a fennel plant. It looks a little bit like dill, but it's not. And it would just be kind of put out on a plate, and you would just grab some and eat it. So it's the opposite end of the fennel bulb, which is pretty common nowadays in modern American cuisine, but it didn't used to be. Anyway, this was very much a part of the meal at the end of a heavy meal in particular, and it would just kind of give you that energy, that renewed energy to go out and walk off that heavy meal. That's the typical line up. You know, you eat this big heavy meal, especially on a Sunday, and then afterwards you have a little finocchia, and then you go out and you walk around. You know, if you're in Brooklyn, you walk around the block a little bit with the other folks in the neighborhood, or if you're in Sicily, you walk down to the town square and just kind of, walk around and socialize a little bit with everybody else who's trying to walk off a heavy meal. And then if you're having coffee later on in the evening, you would have a biscotti with the anise flavor in it. Again, this same series of notes. And it just kind of, to me, gives me that little bit of relaxed digestion and the energy to go out and walk off a heavy meal and enjoy a small cup of coffee at the end of the evening's walk. And this is Federico Cantelli Licorice. All right, next we have Tokiwa. Tokiwa by Strangers Parfumerie. The nose behind this is, of course, Prin L'Amrose. There we go. This is one of his newer offerings. This is a 30 ml EDP. It is a 2025 release, and it goes for about $100. The notes in this include corn. I've spoken about this before. I got tremendous feedback on the corn note. I agree. It's pretty extraordinary. But it's also got wildflowers, grass, a little bit of toasted seaweed, pistachio, spinach, grapefruit, ambrette. Yeah, a lot going on in this, and it's a very interesting experience, right? I don't know whether to, commit to it as a part of a healthy diet or roll around in it on a hilltop thinking, the hills are alive. It's just somewhere in between, a gorgeous experience, very enlivening, blissful, like I said, you just kind of want to belt out a happy tune and, take in the beautiful mountain air, and this gets you right there. It's also got, from that corn note, a bit of a kind of carby snuggle going on at the same time. Beautiful stuff. Tokiwa by Strangers Parfumerie. Next, we've got, I never hear much about this. I won't say I've never heard anything. That's not fair. I don't hear much about it. This is I'm going to screw this up. Centologia Laconic. And here it is. Beautiful fragrance. This is a 2025 release. This is a 100 ml. It goes for about $240, and it is an EDP. So the noses behind this, by the way, are Maurice Roussel and Margherita Carini. This is almond, coconut, mandarin orange, milk, bergamot, pistachio, ylang ylang, vanilla, lily of the valley, caramel, sandalwood, and I get a strong cherry and peach in the opening of this, not listed in the notes. And then it kind of evolves into a beautiful pistachio ice cream. And why this makes me think of a renewed world, especially at springtime, is because in my mind, I acquired this ice cream seaside in Brooklyn, New York. And if you have ever been to Brighton Beach or Manhattan Beach or Coney Island Beach, there are along the boardwalk these wonderful vendors that offer lovely dessert type foods. They have regular restaurants, but they offer dessert type foods that you can smell in the evening if you go for a walk along the beach, maybe after dinner, after you've had your fennel, right? Your finocchia, and you want something sweet. And it's kind of those beautiful confectionery smells, but they're not sickly sweet, and they're kind of bolstered by the salty, complex, shall we say, oceanic accord. It is New York after all. So it's not the cleanest smelling, but it's definitely got personality. Ocean Accord coming off the beach, kind of mixing with those beautiful dessert notes from the vendors on the boardwalk. Gorgeous stuff, very, very comforting, nostalgic, and energizing. This is Laconic. Boy, I'm having a hard time tonight. It's pretty late. Laconic by Centologia. I'm butchering it. All right, moving on. We've got last but not least, I'm doing this video in record time. I'm working on cutting down the length a little bit. This is Nature by ILK. Oh my goodness, this is an interesting one. The nose behind this is Tristan. I think it's Bedard. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. This is a 50 ml extrait de parfum. It goes for $200 and it's a 2022 release. The notes in this are cardamom, magnolia nettle, geranium, ivy, marigold, vetiver, oak moss, and patchouli. So to me, this is very patchouli, vetiver, and oak moss forward. I also get the slightest hint of an animalic in here. It's not cumin. It smells like there's a touch of real musk in here, but I don't believe there is. There's just something, maybe it's the expression of the oak moss with the very rich, non-chocolatey patchouli. Really interesting. Very handsome and serious. With strength and drive, definitely masculine leaning. I know I said these are straight down the middle, unisex, but this would be an exception. I shouldn't have said that. This is a guy who just, you know, had a dip in a pond with lily pads all around, right? You know, just imagine, you know, a few hundred years ago, before they had like regular bathtubs in the home, and you'd go out and you'd like have a bath in the local pond. That's what happened here. And the pond is completely fresh and wonderful and aromatic and kind of herby. And he's taken a dip in this pond, right? And this is a very masculine man, right? He doesn't have anything whatsoever waxed on his body. He doesn't have his eyebrows professionally done. And he comes out smelling like this. And that is like great. That's what I get out of this. Totally fine. Very natural, outdoorsy, herbal, clean, but not soapy. And masculine leaning, Nature by ILK. So what do you think? What do you think of tonight's lineup? Do you agree these are energizing fragrances that makes the world feel fresh and new again? Perfect for spring. Did I miss any? Do you disagree with how I described any of these? If so, leave me a comment. I always love to read them. And if you aren't yet a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. And once again, this is a series, so I'll see you in the next one. I will not reveal what the next mood will be that I go over, but I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.